I finally learned his name. Victor. At every moment of every day, we are surrounded by hidden forces beyond our darkest dreams. All we need is a sacrifice.
I want to make up for what I did.
Welcome to my series where I deep dive into the morals and life behind many Dark Deception characters. Today I am looking at Doug Hauser, the protagonist of the game. He is one of many examples of a character with subjective morals in the game. Ultimately, he is gearing himself for redemption. However, are his crimes too much to receive it? I'll be looking into his childhood, how he acted during his adult life, and then conclude with what's occurring now. Let's start off with his early life. Doug Hauser was born February 11th, 1955, most likely in Pennsylvania. He is a Caucasian male with blue eyes and dark hair. At first, you might assume he had a nice childhood, especially when you see a cute little card like this, but behind the scenes, things were more sinister than they appeared. Note 1. February 11th, 1960.
Happy birthday, my little Dougie. 5 years old. You're getting so big. Do you know how much I love you? I'm sorry that I can't be there to spend time with you today. Things are hard right now, so Mommy has to work. Don't feel sad though. Today is your birthday and Mommy left you a surprise. Look downstairs in the kitchen. I brought you a new friend. He'll keep you company whenever I'm not around. I'll see you when I get home, sweetheart. Always remember that I love you. Love you forever and ever. Mom.
At the time, his childhood may have appeared to be relatively normal. His mum tried to be there for him, but work commitments simply got in the way, a reality for many. But things rapidly deteriorated. Doug's father neglected the both of them. It reached a point where he cheated on Doug's mother and left altogether, a sad parallel to Doug's later life. This left a hole in Doug's mother, leading her to lash out due to her feelings of worthlessness. At about the time Doug turned 8 years old, he lived with his mother, alone as an only child. She had slowly become abusive and sadistic, taking out her anger at her ex-husband on the person who closest resembles him, Doug. She punished him for anything, as shown in this note.
Dougie is 8 now. I shouldn't hate him, but I can't help it. Every day he looks more and more like his father. He acts and sounds more and more like him too. He used to be sweet and cute. Now when I look at him, all I see is that miserable bastard's face. It makes me sick to my stomach that I'm raising him by myself, while he's out there enjoying his life as some tramp somewhere. Life's never fair. The other day, he dropped one of the glasses in the kitchen. Such a simple thing, but it instantly filled me with an uncontrollable rage. I locked him in a closet as punishment, mainly so that I wouldn't beat him. He begged me to let him out and said that the dark scared him. The other mothers would be shocked to hear me say this, but I enjoyed hearing him beg. I left him in there for hours. He eventually stopped crying. Maybe I never had any maternal instincts to begin with. That thought doesn't bother me so much anymore though. Now all I can think, every day, is that I should have listened to my mother. When he was born, she told me to give him up, and I didn't listen. She told me not to marry his father, and I didn't listen to that either. I should have listened. I was such a foolish girl. There are so many things I could have done, so many dreams I might have fulfilled. Now I'm trapped and time just keeps getting faster and faster. When I look at myself in the mirror, I can see my age starting to set in. I'm not as young as I once was, and raising him is wasting what little youth I have left. I spent every moment either working to provide for him, or taking care of him. It never ends. I feel like I can't breathe. I also can't abandon him even if I wanted to. It's against the law after all. Not to mention that once word got around, I'd be a pariah in the community. They'd all judge and cast me out. Of course, nobody judged him for leaving. No, not him. He's a man. His buddies probably gave him high fives and cheap cigars to celebrate. Meanwhile, I'm stuck here with this brat. Being a single mother is hard. For now, all I can do is make him suffer every now and then. He can suffer as I have suffered.
These experiences forced Doug to mature early. You can even note that they forced him into being an independent individual but a narcissistic one at that. Clearly, his childhood didn't do him any favours. It moulded him into an individual doomed to repeat the cycle of abuse. Now, let's look at his adult life. By the time it was 1979, Doug Hauser had moved into New York City, a prosperous place compared to his childhood home. Here, he met a woman named Elise, who he later married. Elise Clarissa Hauser was born in 1959, marrying Doug at age 20. She has brown eyes and black hair. With Elise, he had a child called Tammy Hauser. By 1981, Doug had secured a stable position in a notable law firm. Despite all of this success, his marriage was already shaky. On Elise's end, she had constant mood swings and other unresolved issues that seemed to be coming up constantly. Here's Doug's account of it.
She had another violent episode last night. We were arguing about Tammy's behaviour problems at school again. I was in the middle of prepping defence for the trial of my life with a key client. I really had no time for another round of parenting ideas from her, but she just wouldn't let it go. She knows how to press all of my buttons, and I'm pretty sure that she enjoys doing it. I lost it. I pushed her out of my office and I gave her a piece of my mind. She just stood there for a minute, and that was the moment I saw her again. The rage in her eyes. She left the room and came back with a pair of scissors. That crazy bitch tried to stab me. I was able to wrestle the scissors from her and packed up my work and left. She was screaming out the door at me, telling me to run off to my secretaries and not to come back or something like that. I couldn't care less. Just more proof that all that therapy and medication isn't helping her. I don't think they have a pill enough for that level of psycho.
As stated, Elise had been taking medication to try and help her bipolar disorder. Prescription for Mrs. Hauser. Address 1462 Spring Street, Apartment 6, New York. Date 12th of January 1991. 100 containers of 600 milligrams of lithium carbonate. She's recommended to take 1,200 to 1,800 milligrams a day. Take one pill orally 2 to 3 times a day. Signed, Dr. Michael Pastor. As shown in the note, her mood swings often led to very violent acts, potentially almost killing Doug in the process with a confrontation involving scissors. Alongside Doug's notable anger issues he presumably got from his mother, it is no surprise the two would constantly fight, let alone with a daughter who is struggling. On Elisa's side, she noticed the change in Doug's demeanour. She theorised it had something to do with his mother, who he avoided mentioning at all costs. October 10th, 1979. We've been married for almost a year, but I just met Doug's mother for the first time yesterday. She wasn't at our wedding for some reason. We had to take a road trip down to Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, just to see her. She lives near a large horse farm and it was unbearably hot down there. Overall, the entire visit was a disaster. First, Doug didn't even want to introduce me to her, which made me angry. He's never really talked about his mum much, which I thought was really strange. He'd barely even know that he has a mother the way he avoids mentioning her. My first thought was that he had some mommy issues that he was hiding. This made me extremely curious, so I pushed him to introduce me to her. It annoyed him, but what kind of man doesn't introduce his wife to his own mother? He resisted for a long time, but he finally gave in. When we got to her house, he didn't want to stick around though. He left almost immediately, saying he needed to go buy a few things for his firm and to get a payphone to call his boss about a case. I knew it was just a lame excuse, but I thought I could find out more from his mum if he wasn't around, so I let him run off. Sadly, things didn't go the way I hoped. She didn't say much and she wasn't much of a host. She just kept staring at me without saying much. I had to force a conversation out of her. She didn't really want to talk about Doug at all, which was very odd. She also didn't seem to have any photos of him in the house. Anytime I asked a question about Doug, she'd either give me a vague response or deflect it with her own questions, mostly about myself. She was far more interested in talking about me. She kept telling me how beautiful I was and how she liked my dress, which was sweet at first, but became a little uncomfortable after she wouldn't move on from it. She was complimenting me, but her tone was almost bitter and jealous. I know she's alone now, but Doug never told me his story and I don't think he ever will. Maybe she had a hard life? Doug eventually came back, but he still didn't want to come in and remained in the car. Then, as I was leaving, Doug's mother grabbed my arm. She looked right into my eyes and told me that I was a stupid girl for marrying him and to never have his children. To say I was shocked at that moment is a bit of an understatement. What kind of a mother would say something like that about her own son? At that point, I just wanted to leave as fast as possible. I will never press Doug to visit her again. Alongside this, Doug constantly vented his frustrations into notes about Elisa's drug problem. I
I keep finding her empty prescription bottles hidden around the bedroom. She tells me it's a normal prescription fill, but I know she's lying. Somehow she's getting more medication than she should have. Now I'm finding new meds with names so long I don't even know what they are. No surprise, I suppose. She thinks she can solve all of her problems with therapy and pills. It's pathetic. She was sheltered her entire life by her family and never learned how to deal with her issues. Now she's got me paying for everything, and when things get too hard, she just runs to her parents in Pittsburgh. Not that I mind that or anything. It's the perfect time to go out and meet up with some friends. It just kills me. Of all the women in the world, why didn't I pick her? Just a sucker for a pretty face, I guess. Now she's got me in her hooks. Financially speaking, it's cheaper to keep her. If it's not money, why does she stay? It just annoys me that she's so dependent on these pills. She's going to embarrass me publicly with her addiction at some point, which could hurt my partner status at the firm. She mindlessly shoves those pills into her mouth like candy. Honestly, I think you could put anything in those capsules and she wouldn't even notice. She'd still take them.
Elisa's situation deteriorated. As time went on, she got more reliant on the pills, getting addicted in the process. This didn't help her problem, and more so was clearly just an attempt to try and drown out her stress. As Doug stated, Elise would constantly flee to Pittsburgh as an attempt to have solace in her life. During this time, Doug would spend it partying with friends and colleagues, even cheating on his wife with his secretary.
When are you going to deal with your wife?
Look, I said I'd take care of it. She's an idiot. I will get her out of the picture one way or the other. Just trust me and be patient, okay? Don't do anything stupid.
Your daughter is going to hate me though, right? That's going to be really awkward. Does she have to live with us?
Tammy is not the problem. Yeah, she's a messed up kid, but she won't get in the way. See, she's at that age where she doesn't like her mother all that much either. She'll side with me.
I hope you're right. I'm getting tired of waiting for you to keep your word. Remember, you promised me.
Oh yeah? Well, how's that new car treating you? Just like I promised, right? So, I'll meet you at 8 tonight. Elise thinks I'm going out of town for a conference for 3 days.
Okay, but don't expect any monkey business in some hotel afterwards. You owe me a nice night out.
Till death do you part, eh? So much for wedding vows. I can't say I blame you. They were all upgrades, weren't they?
Alongside this, Tammy exhibited many signs of her mother's disorder, potentially being genetically predisposed to it. Somewhere in between 1988 and 1992, Tammy was admitted into a psychiatric hospital. She had many symptoms, including mood swings, low self-esteem, etc. The patient, Tammy Hauser, is a 12-year-old Caucasian female with a mental health history that dates back to 1988. The patient was admitted by her father. The father says the daughter is prone to random severe mood swings and panic attacks. He also states that she acts impulsively, exhibiting risky and dangerous behaviour in order to gain his attention. He fears that she will continue to harm herself, or eventually, others. There is a history of mental illness on the mother's side as well. Patient's self-esteem appears low. Anhedonia, sleep disturbance, does not appear to be eating well, does not report change in energy, no reported changes in concentration or memory. Patient does exhibit signs of depression and anxiety when asked about her father. She is convinced that he is ignoring her and is obsessed with his legal career. She believes that he wishes she didn't exist. Patient bears marks of past self-harm with scars on her left arm, sending recommendation that she is potentially suffering from early bipolar disorder, advising further tests and observation. Medication will be prescribed for depression and anxiety. I'll start with oxcarbazepine. Dr. Angela Simmons. Present Doug said the following about this note.
Tammy, I wish I'd listened to you more. You were nothing to me. I only saw your flaws. If you can hear me, believe in me this one time. I will change your fate.
Tammy had bipolar disorder and autism spectrum disorder, things that are absolutely manageable in this day and age, but was misunderstood 40 years ago. This led to many arguments between the two, as shown here.
I am getting sick of her public meltdowns. Why am I always being called out of work to deal with her, huh? From now on, you deal with her.
Deal with her? When do you ever do that? She's your daughter, you jerk. You don't spend any time with her. She's autistic and needs attention from a loving father. You don't even give her the bare minimum.
We both know she got it from you. You're the bipolar mess, and you passed it on to our kid. Are you happy? If I'd have known how messed up you were, I'd have never married you. Joke's on me, I guess.
Here we go again. Yep, that's all you ever say. Yeah, I know what you think of me. Sorry to ruin your life. All you really need is your money and your secretaries, right? Here we go again.
Why can't you just be normal?
You pretend we don't even exist. Even if you hate me now, Tammy needs you, and all you care about is your stupid work. Tammy could drop dead, and you wouldn't even notice. What kind of man are you?
All I know is you two are sucking the joy out of my life. Sick of it. I don't need this garbage every single day. Yeah, I know. You don't want to hear it. You just want to hear that nothing is wrong with you.
The combined stress of Tammy's problems in school, Elisa's mental health issues and spending on medication, and his want to escape the marriage, he devised a plan to get rid of Elise.
The pills aren't helping her at all. Her behaviour keeps getting more extreme and irrational. It's a never-ending nightmare. I can hope for the best, but I know that she'll probably never be normal. She's going to be a mental mess just like her mother. It feels like my world is going dark. A man can only take so much. I really don't care what people think of me. Those two don't know how to be happy and they're sucking the joy out of my life. Whatever her mother and I had is dead. I need to break free while I still can. I've got plenty of money and a great career. I can start over. I can do it right this time. I still need to do something about them though. No way I'm letting her take me for half. She'll use that defective kid to bleed money out of me forever. I want to be free of them, and I want to forget they exist as soon as possible. Thankfully, she's not very bright. There might be a way.
In 1992, Doug made the fatal decision to replace his wife's bipolar pills with sleeping pills, knowing that she would take too many. Unbeknownst to him, as she was driving, Tammy was also in the car. This fatally led to the death of both, with them crashing off into a river off McKees Rock Bridge in Pittsburgh. This incident also claimed 2 other lives.
On Friday, February 28, 1992, at 17:38, the Pittsburgh City Police Department received a report of an auto incident in the area of McKees Rock Bridge. Upon arrival, police located a multi-vehicle crash on the bridge. One vehicle was partially hanging over the edge of the bridge, and another was discovered to have been pushed by the collision through the guard railings and into the river below. A total of 4 deaths occurred from the accident. The driver and the passenger in the vehicle that plunged into the river both died as a result of the severe injuries sustained in the accident. The vehicle was engulfed in flames before entering the water. The driver and registered owner of the vehicle is Clarissa Hauser, aged 33. Passenger is Tammy Hauser, aged 12. Information for both will be released pending positive identification. Preliminary investigation revealed that a drug overdose may have been a contributing factor to the accident. Fragments of prescription medication containers were found at the site and within the vehicle. No signs of foul play. Suicide has not been ruled out. The official report had been enlisted as follows. Accident 311. Date of accident the 28th of February 1992. Time of accident 5:38 p.m. Operator 7802. Location McKees Rock County. Injured Winston Miller, age 42. City of residence Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, male. Killed Clarissa Hauser, age 33, New York. Tammy Hauser, age 12, New York. Robin Delaney, age 25, City of residence Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Marissa Delaney, age 26, City of residence Pittsburgh, female.
Having not expected the death of his own daughter, Doug became distraught. In his mission to escape his marriage, he had murdered an innocent child who had no involvement in anything. Feeling disgusted by his own actions, he tried everything. Group meetings, charity, drugs. Nothing worked. He constantly saw hallucinations of both the family members he killed, and eventually accepted whatever fate he had if there was an afterlife. He understood no actions could save this ghastly sin. Noticeably, he seemed to have penitence in the regard where he said he would do anything to change what he had done.
I see them more often now, more clearly and more often than before. They dominate my dreams now in a way that never happened previously. Sometimes when I am out doing my walk, I feel them watching me, and I almost convince myself that I see them, their faces, hidden in the crowd of people. For a moment, I found myself wishing so much for it to be true. I doubt they'd be as happy to see me though. I spent another Friday night with the group. It went about as well as it usually does. They're good people, all of them, but I don't think they will ever be able to help me. Faith and the power of the Holy Spirit have a profound impact on some, but for me they are just words that ring hollow. I've taken pills to forget. I've prayed to forget. I've gone to group meetings and therapy. I've done countless amounts of charity and community work, but it never feels like enough. I still feel so empty. Maybe I'm just wasting my time, or maybe I'm slowly going mad. I just wish there was a way to see them one more time. I'm not a terribly religious man, but if there is an afterlife, I know what's waiting for me when my time is up. I accept it, and I deserve it. Just give me one last chance to right my biggest wrong before I go. I'm not even sure that's possible, but I'd pay any price to find out.
After this point, Doug was arrested after turning himself into the New York Police Department's first precinct in Manhattan, facing charges of sexual abuse and misconduct with 5 different women. Whether these were real or individuals wanting to rinse him of money, I am not aware. Becoming disgraced legally, he was admitted on an $100,000 bail.
Doug Hauser turned himself into police in New York City this morning to face sexual misconduct charges before being released on an $100,000 cash bail. The disgraced defense attorney was carrying an 8000X and a newspaper as he got out of a luxury black SUV and walked past a swarm of TV cameras and reporters, and through the front door of the New York Police Department's first precinct in Manhattan this morning. He was subsequently arrested, processed and charged with criminal sex act, sex abuse and sexual misconduct for alleged incidents involving 5 separate women, police said.
Doug noted,
I thought I was so smart, so untouchable, but I was just an easy target for them. It was my own fault, a result of my own ego and desire, just a fool playing the big shot. They loved what they could take from me, but they never loved me, not like you both did.
Past this point, Doug was eventually diagnosed with cancer and admitted into a hospital. Yearning for forgiveness and a chance to fix things, he shifted to a more supernatural route. Learning about the riddle of heaven and Malek's power through some means, he decided it was his only chance, if it was real. Carving Malek's insignia on his hospital bed, he eventually woke up in Bierce's realm, and that's what leads us to the present game. Doug repeatedly has shown that he would do anything to get his life back, and his family's. He has conquered 8 nightmares at this current moment, almost securing the riddle of heaven for Bierce. The real question is though, does he deserve forgiveness? His acts would be seen as unforgivable for many, but others think he's put in enough heart and soul to deserve a second chance. Ultimately, that's up to the player to decide. A disgraced murderer, or an abused man trying to redeem himself. Thanks for watching.